Oh good, you're here. It's me, Hiralious Bones, making my triumphant return! A few days late, and not with the video that I had intended, but... So this is more of a soft open return, but I'm working on a big video talking about where I've been, where I am now, where I'm going with this channel, and life for the future. So that's coming up, but it's taking a little bit longer than I had anticipated because life, am I right? But the harvest has already begun, and I'm bursting with excitement to share with you this year's addition to the Pumpkin Army. Some of you may or may not know that I'm currently working on my master's degree in animation. My focus is stop motion and fabrication. Trust me, I hear you on the animations. But I'm still learning, and I'm excited to learn more. Focus. What were we talking about? Pumpkins! One animation that has really inspired me is Over the Garden Wall. It's a beautiful 10-part series that aired... Do people even say that anymore? In 2014. Don't let that intimidate you! Each episode is only 11.5 minutes long, so it only takes about 2 hours to watch. It's a beautiful tale of two brothers trying to find their way home through a fantastical world of wonder and danger. One of the first episodes involves the brothers stumbling upon the town of Pottsfield in the middle of a festival in which the merrymakers wear pumpkins on their heads. Without further ado, let's get into the creation process. An Over the Garden Wall edition of the Hiralious Harvest. I primed these puppies. Can you believe this used to be green? And set to work. I've searched around, and I couldn't find any specific names for characters from Pottsfield, except for Enoch, who's the Grand High Pumpkin of sorts. So to begin with, I chose 2 citizens to create using some smaller pumpkins I happen to have laying around the house. Lying around the house. I chose the old wrinkled pumpkin because I like the way he looks, and this other fellow because he seems so happy. I really enjoyed working with this color palette. The colors were still very vibrant, but they have been desaturated to add to the mood of the entire project. I really like this deep orangey red. The paint I ended up using is matte for a lot of what goes on in this video, so it dries a bit darker, and I also ended up doing a couple coats. I paint so slowly in this project. I was really trying to get these lines straight, but I've sped it up about 600% and I still look like I'm painting slow. Sheesh. I'm starting to realize I find a lot of the art I make very tedious when in process, but it is incredibly satisfying when you get into a groove. I did not have the arsenal of brushes from my studio. Also, the weather was causing the paint to act very contrary to my goals. But by the end, I think we came to an understanding. I'm also using mostly apple barrel paints from Walmart. I didn't realize I had grabbed mostly matte colors, but I'm actually really pleased with how they turned out. I think it works with the series. I'm using black 2.0 for the eyes and mouths of the pumpkin people because I really like the depth the color tricks your eyes into seeing. 3.0 is great too, but I didn't have any with me. Are you guys familiar with Over the Garden Wall? It was first released on Cartoon Network in November of 2014 by creator Patrick McHale. It was based on an 8-minute animated short called Tome of the Unknown, which you can actually watch here on YouTube. The depth of the story makes it enjoyable for a wide range of people at any age. Well, Google suggests an 8 years and older audience, so maybe it would be a little scary for those under 8. But then what do I know about it? It's been a while since I was 8. Anywho, the series pushes the viewer toward emotional growth in a way that is entertaining and meaningful. It is an intelligent piece, and it treats the audience with intelligence in a way that I don't see very often in children's entertainment, but I always appreciate it when I do see it. Elements like that will give it staying power. Shoot, I lost some footage here. Imagine me painting this pumpkin a brownish, tannish, fleshish color. Can you see it? Wonderful! Now we're on the same page. I'm respectfully shading the pumpkin's crevices to help bring out the form. This time I forgot to press record. Doing really well here, Bones. I know it looks like a pile of hot trash right now, but I clean it up in a moment. Not to worry. The series begins with 2 boys walking through the woods, a 5-year-old brainstorming names for a new frog friend, and an angsty 14-year-old spouting poetry about the injustices of life. As the series continues, you realize the boys are half-brothers, and Wirt, the older brother, who's voiced by Elijah Wood, by the way, is still struggling with his mom's remarriage and the existence of his new family. As they travel through the woods, they meet a vast array of characters who need help, end up helping the boys, or both. Or are full of malice, honestly. Greg, the 5-year-old brother, who is voiced by Colin Dean, adds a sweet childlike silliness that lightens a building sense of dread that intensifies as the episodes go on. The episode these little lovelies are from is the 2nd episode in the series, called Hard Times at the Huskin' Bee. There, that's better. This episode begins with Greg discovering a talking bird stuck in some brambles. After untangling her, the bird introduces herself as Beatrice and insists that she now owes them a favor, so begins traveling with them. The boys find a sign for a town called Pottsfield, so they decide to head for it to find a phone or someone who could help them get home. As they enter the town, it seems abandoned. As they knock on doors to no answer, they overhear singing coming from a large barn. They discover a harvest festival in progress, and what must be the inhabitants of the entire town, all costumed with pumpkins on their heads. What at first seemed like a joyful festival turns slightly sinister when the boys say they want to leave. A giant pumpkin creature named Enoch comes to the boys' rescue as the pumpkin people begin to surround them. But only for a moment. Greg lets slip that they stepped on pumpkins on the way into town, and that seems to be the last straw for Enoch. There's a montage of the boys doing chores around the farming town as punishment for their crimes, with a buoyant song called "Patient is the Night" playing over it. The seemingly innocent scene is made more ominous, showing the boys and the bird in shackles. This show is pretty dark and has some scary moments, but there are plenty of breaks in the tension with humor. It's a really good balance of seriousness and levity. This larger pumpkin is for Enoch. I cut a hole in the bottom so I could glue him into the stand I'm planning to build his body around. I considered sewing a fabric pumpkin to make Enoch because he almost looks like one of those big bags of leaves that have pumpkin faces on them, but this saves some time. Oops, my hands are just a little too small to effectively palm this pumpkin. I realized I could put it on its stand so I wouldn't have to hold it. Problem solved. The last task the boys are set on is to dig 2 large holes in one of the fields outside of town. When Greg discovers the skeleton, Wirt panics that Enoch and the pumpkin people might be planning on killing them and had made them dig their own graves. It turns out the purpose of the hole was to dig up the skeletons. The inhabitants of Pottsfield are all skeletons who have donned different harvest vegetables in celebration of the harvest, and part of that harvest is digging up other members of the community. Beatrice picks the locks on their shackles, and the boys make their exit while the people of Pottsfield welcome their newly freed neighbors. The credits roll as the boys venture back into the woods, continuing their journey home. Have I mentioned the music yet? Oh, the music! My research is saying conflicting things, but what I gather is that a band called the Blasting Company composed and performed the songs, but a few of the songs have contributions from Patrick McHale and a few others. The songs are in a style that would feel at home on the radio in the 30s or 40s. They utilize a lot of piano, clarinet, trumpet, and other orchestral instruments, under a lead singer crooning a jaunty tune, if there even is a singer. You know, I was looking up music from the 1940s, and one of the songs that hit #1 on the charts in 1940 was an instrumental. I love instrumentals, but when was the last time that happened? 2013, apparently, with the Harlem Shake. Can you believe that was 9 years ago? I feel like calling the Harlem Shake an instrumental is questionable, but whatever you say, Google. I fear I've gone off the rails a bit. Music! The instrumentals are just as impactful as the songs with lyrics. The music really helps set the mood and bring the story's magic to life, especially because the characters occasionally participate in the music. I fear I'm losing you! The term musical has some preconceived notions attached to it, but they've been evolving just like everything else. I'm not sure that this would even be considered a musical, so forget I said anything. Unless you like musicals, in which case everything's fine. I really love soundtracks that work with the visuals to enhance the experience, and this soundtrack truly does. The songs create atmospheres going from magical and enigmatic to whimsical and comforting. My only complaint is that the songs are too short, am I right? It's true. Most of the songs range between 1 and 2 minutes. My favorite song is only 31 seconds long. I would love to hear an extended version of many of these songs, but especially The Highwayman. The singer, Jaron Blind Boy Paxton, has a deep, gravelly voice, and the way he sings as the Highwayman is very menacing and contributes to the edge of threat established by the lyrics. It's a lovely, creepy little song, and I would love to hear a full version someday. So if anyone knows Jaron Paxton or Patrick McHale, would you ask them really nicely for me, please? Thank you! That one really is my favorite, but the whole soundtrack is good. There's so much heart that went into this project. I really love it, and I hope you'll check it out if you haven't yet. Alright, that's enough kissing this fantastic series' caboose. Let's get back to the art! The stand I'm using for his body is a paper towel stand from Walmart. It works perfectly for this. I used E6000 to secure his noggin onto the stand. I had hoped to find a hula skirt at Dollar Tree or Walmart, but I couldn't find one, so I took some brown paper and painted it 2 different shades of green. I was filming this away from my normal setup, so I apologize if the lighting is a little wonky. I then cut the paper into strips and glued them around the base of Enoch's head, where his neck should be. Aw, they make me smile. I was considering adding skeleton bodies to the 2 smaller pumpkins. Let me know if you think I should down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the first installment of 2022's Hiralious Harvest. I had meant to talk more about the art, but once I started writing, all I could think was how great Over the Garden Wall was. Have you seen it? Have I convinced you to see it? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for your patience as I took a break these past few months. But I'm back now, and I have so much in store for this season and this channel, and I can't wait to share it with you. Oh, I almost forgot. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, consider liking the video. Perhaps a subscription may be in order. I'm really happy to be back. I can't wait to hear what you think down in the comments. So take care, my friends, and I'll see you next time. That